All right, Shame listeners, mark your calendars. The 17th Annual Milwaukee Film Festival is set for April 24th through May 8th, 2025. Get ready for an incredible lineup of films, from thought-provoking features to compelling short films across a variety of programs, including Worldviews, North American Independence, Genre Queer, Black Lens, Sound Vision, Cine Sin Fronteras, Rated K for Kids, and the always bold Cinema Hooligante. Hosted at Milwaukee Film's historic Oriental and Downer theaters, the festival promises an unforgettable cinematic experience. Tickets and passes are now on sale with special discounts for Milwaukee Film members. For all the details, visit www.mkefilm.org/MFF. Once again, that website is www.mkefilm.org/MFF. Be sure to check them out.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, then why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am your host, Michael Viers, and today I'm joined by the brilliant and endlessly charismatic Robyn Ehrlich. Robyn is the Communications and Public Relations Coordinator at Milwaukee Film, where she plays a vital role in championing independent cinema and fostering a vibrant film community. A proud UW-Milwaukee alum, she earned her BFA in film and has since dedicated her career to celebrating the art of storytelling. When she's not immersed in the world of movies, she's spending time with her two beloved dogs or sharing her infectious enthusiasm for all things film related. Simply put, she's a delight, and I'm thrilled to have her on the show. Welcome, Robyn. So you went to UWM. Because there's like two different routes you can go at UWM. You could go the film production side, or you can go the more film theory side. What was your initial goal when you went, or did you not know?
I always wanted to do film production, and I lived in the film LLC in the dorms. I don't know if you did that.
Oh no, I didn't live in the dorms, but I lived on a bus route, so I just commuted.
Got it. Okay, that's good. I lived in the film LLC. That's actually where I met my fiance, because he studied film studies. So he was like the theory side of things, and I was more the production side of things. And so, yeah, it was always production, and I've worked on some film sets and stuff, and I really do like it, but it's like those 12-hour days kind of kill me, and I don't know if I'm built for that.
It's tough. Like, UWM is fantastic because they teach you about all these fantastic filmmakers who are just doing things on their own. Like,
yes.
Off camera, we talked a little bit about someone we both mutually like, Carl Bogner. He taught me about filmmaker Sadie Benning, who's someone I'm still very obsessed with. It's just impossible to find her films unless you're, institution that can get access to them. But like, she was just making movies in her bedroom by herself, and that's fantastic. The critic, not because I have a thing against critic. I love film criticism. I think film criticism is one of the most misunderstood jobs in the world of film culture, but I've always referred to myself more as a film culturist, a person who celebrates film culture. And I started doing this podcast when I was on like an extended hiatus from making things. I went on a 6-year hiatus from making things. I had a great run. I made a film right out of college, my senior thesis film, played at Cannes. I then made a film with Milwaukee Film. I was their last collaborative cinema film.
Oh my gosh.
And then I did another film with local musician Valerie Lightheart.
Okay.
And then I took some time off because that last film kind of broke me. The post-production broke me. And then I moved out to McGuanago, and I just wasn't near anything.
Are you still there?
No, I live in West Dallas now.
I live in New Berlin, so we're right by each other.
We are. But I started this podcast as a way to kind of reconnect my love for film. And it's funny that even though I still consider myself a filmmaker in some ways, my name has gotten out there far more doing this, celebrating film culture and talking about film than I ever did as a filmmaker.
That's so interesting. I also did not know that you had a film play at Cannes. That's so exciting. That's really cool.
That was a short film corner, but it still counts.
It counts. I definitely feel what you're saying. I think it's hard to go from like making things because you're being held accountable for it and making them so consistently to then graduating and then there's no one holding you accountable for it anymore except for yourself. And I'm not good at holding myself accountable for things, but yeah, it's working on it. But yeah, I think because I actually had a film play at the Milwaukee. Well, it was a music video. I made a music video that showed at the Milwaukee Film Festival, like music video show in 2018. And that was great. I loved seeing my work on the, Oriental theater screen, which is like a magical.
It's the dream for any Wisconsin filmmaker.
Yeah, it's like the most stunning theater ever. If you're listening and you haven't been there, I'm not just saying this because I work there now, but a little bit. But but even before I worked at the Oriental Theater, it was just like, this is the most gorgeous cinema palace I've ever seen. But yeah, I think, and then I graduated right into the pandemic, so it was just hard to be motivated to do anything at all, let alone film. But yeah.
So that begs the question: how did you transition into working for Milwaukee Film? Like, that's always been a dream of mine. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do. How did that transition happen?
So I guess my history with Milwaukee Film is that when I first moved to Milwaukee, I volunteered at the festival for a couple years and just was like a regular patron of the festival. And then when Milwaukee Film took over operations of the Oriental Theater, my fiance started working at the Oriental Theater, so he was like a cinema associate, so I was kind of like always around and utilizing the perks of free popcorn and stuff. And then I had a film show at the Milwaukee Film Festival, so I feel like I'd experienced it from so many different sides of just being like a huge fan, a volunteer, a filmmaker, friends with a lot of the people who worked there. And then the pandemic happened and I graduated and I didn't really know what to do with myself. So I took a bunch of like odd jobs. I eventually worked on like some random sets. I worked on like season 3 of Joe Pera Talks with You when it was filming here. And
there's so many Milwaukee locations in that show.
I know. I mean, truly, yeah. I feel like you can't go anywhere without meeting someone who worked on Joe Pera.
Oh yeah, I'm friends with some actors who worked on it too.
I'm sure. And you know what? I probably did all their paperwork because I was never on set. I was an office PA, so I was in like a warehouse with no windows for 3 months.
Fax machine.
Yeah, I was just like copying and filing things. It was exhilarating. And then eventually, I just kind of was like, I need to take a break from this. So I started working at Half Price Books and just was living my retail dreams. And I saw there was a job opening at Milwaukee Film. It was like a seasonal, part-time marketing coordinator, some sort of helper with like just for during the festival. And then it was supposed to end, but I swindled my way into them keeping me around, which is cool. And now I'm full-time and I've been there for a year and a half, and I love it. I will admit, like, it was my dream to work at Milwaukee Film for a long time, and I had applied for things before that just never stuck, or like, you know, because there's so much interest, and it's a tough place to get into, but it's just a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know that I ever thought that I would be helping put on like a film festival, but it's the most fun ever. I mean, we're getting ready for the 2025 Milwaukee Film Festival right now, and it's a lot. It's like things are slowly ramping up, but I really like it, and it's always cool to see it all come together.
So tell me one, I know this is a big question that you didn't plan for. Tell me one thing that strengthened your love for film working with Milwaukee Film, the Oriental Theater Film Festival, however you want to phrase that. Because I imagine working with film is going to make you love it even more.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I forgot to mention too? This relates, I promise. I'm not just going off topic, but I worked during my time at UW Milwaukee. I worked at the Union Cinema on campus, and I think that was
Union Cinema.
I adore that place. That's like where I made some of my best friends who I'm still friends with like today.
I really need to make my way out there. It's been a while since I've been there. I need to go see a movie there.
I know it's hard because they don't do like extended runs of things. It's like usually it's one night or maybe two.
Yep.
So it's hard to plan around, but it's so worth it. I think I haven't been there in a minute either, but like I went last year for their 35 millimeter screening of Showgirls, and it was so fun to just, I think that's where I really learned about, and I'll get to Milwaukee Film in a second, but I really learned about the process of programming and like, so I was their marketing coordinator. And so I got to just kind of learn about connecting with the local Milwaukee community who are also full of like just film lovers. And that was where I think there's just something special about being a part of like such a small theater that is so, you know, dedicated to just showing cool stuff and giving people a platform. I mean, they do some wild stuff at the Union Cinema, like every Tuesday, experimental Tuesdays, and so many different genres and visiting filmmakers. That's how I met Kelly Reichardt, was when she was there, and they didn't know what exactly to show when she was speaking, so I lent her my Blu-ray of Certain Women so that they could borrow it for the screening, and then she signed it. So yeah, the Union Cinema, shout out, I love them. But and then working at Milwaukee Film is just that on a larger scale, because it's like putting on a world-class festival, which is like I definitely thought I knew how to do that a little bit just based on like programming a year-round cinema at the Union Cinema. I didn't program, but I shared an office with the programmer, and so I felt like I was, you know, giving my opinion a lot. But now it's that but bigger, and I get to meet so many people, and I mean, it really is special to just my day job is just I go to an office and I talk to people about films all day.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Film programming is a dream of mine that I've always had. Even if it's I get to program just a night or like a double, just something. But film festivals, for those of you listening, if you have a local film festival, go to them, support them, and then you don't know who you're gonna meet there. The year I was in the Milwaukee Film Festival, I hung out every single night. Because one, you want to just see as many movies as possible, and then you just don't know who you're going to meet. I have been pen pals with David Lowery for 10 years because I met him at a film festival.
That's so cool.
He has no reason to keep emailing me back. Granted, he only sends me like maybe 4 emails a year because he's busy. But
yeah.
The fact that he hasn't changed his email address in 10 years is impressive. And I just met him because I walked up to him after screening and just told him how much I loved Ain't Them Body Saints. And ultimately, if you love film, you should be supporting film festivals. And especially because granted, I've been to some janky film festivals, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But
me too.
That's also part of the fun. When you go to a place like the Oriental Theater in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or now the beautiful Downer Theater.
Yes.
You also go to Union Cinema. You're going to also get fantastic projection because they care about the way things look and the way things sound. Like one little detail that I absolutely love about going to see a movie at the Oriental is I love that you guys have automatic masking.
Oh,
for the screens. Like I get just as like when I went to go see Nosferatu and the screen masked itself to fit the 1.66 to 1 aspect ratio. One, my favorite aspect ratio of all time. That's how much of a film nerd I am. I have a favorite aspect ratio.
love that.
When the screen matted, I'm like,
okay, I'm gonna tell them you said this because our programming team, our whole tech department, I'm in their like group chat where they say every week like what aspect ratio all the special films are going to be for the next week, and I always look at it and I'm like, I don't know how you guys keep track of all this, and they're like, we have to set it to this for this one, and they like painstakingly make sure that it's all correct. And I love our projection team. My friend Ginny, who works at the Oriental and Downer theaters, we actually worked together at the Union Cinema as well, so I've been with them for several years. Well, we also worked at Beans and Barley together, but they didn't project anything there. But yeah, they are like so talented, and especially right now we're showing The Brutalist on 70 millimeter film.
VistaVision.
Say that again. Yeah, VistaVision. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I need to see
I've not seen it yet either. I just gave a mini lecture to a friend of mine about what VistaVision is.
Okay, good. Spread the gospel of VistaVision. I need to see it for sure, but I have seen pictures of our programming our projectionists holding these giant film canisters of or film reels too of the Brutalist 70 millimeter film, and they like need spotters just because some of them are so big that they can't carry them on their own.
Is it still showing in 70 millimeter?
Yeah, we extended it because people were coming out in droves to see it.
One, I need to make time to go see that, and two, I would love to see the projection booth.
I'll ask. I've only seen it once.
Understandable, but and like this is the nerdy part. Well, this entire podcast is going to be nerdy, but I am such a nerd for aspect ratios that this last film festival when I got to be press was my first film festival. Got to be press at. I'm going to be applying this year.
I hope you come back. I was going to say
I plan to. Since I saw so many movies at the Downer, and I was specifically on the left hand theater.
Mm-hmm.
I was in that room so often that that's how I deduced that screen is a different size because I was in that room so often.
Oh, you might be right. You're probably right.
I was looking at it and I was watching a documentary, and it's not in scope, so it doesn't have the big chunky bars in the top and bottom. And I was like, it doesn't fit the screen. And it's not that it was bothering me, but it's like, what aspect ratio is this movie in? And I looked it up and it's like, oh, it's in 1.85 to 1, which is standard, 16 by 9, a little bit wider, but just a touch. And I was like, it doesn't fit that screen. So I tweeted the Downer Theater and be like, out of curiosity, what size is the screen? And they confirmed that it's like a 1.67 to 1. It's a very obscure size.
That's so interesting.
I got it right.
Oh my gosh. I know right before the festival started, in 2024, which was like we acquired or took over operations of the Downer Theater like a month before the film festival started, which was not enough time to prepare everything. And I know our tech team was and our operations team were just going wild on doing everything they could to get the theater ready. And I know one of the theaters at the Downer needed a brand new screen, and I don't know which one it was. So I'd be curious if
I want to say it's the left theater.
It was the one with the new screen.
I think so, just because I had been in that theater a bunch right before ownership changed, and I noticed there was a stain on that screen. Not when you guys took it over, but originally.
That's probably why that one had to be replaced.
I remember when I saw the French Dispatch there, and I just kept staring at the stage like, what is that?
Yeah, that sounds about right for sure. Yeah. No, I know they did that so fast. There's so many silly pictures of them on like all the scaffolding inside the theater setting up this new screen like the week before the festival opened. So glad they did it.
Before we move on to the topic at hand, besides just talking about film festivals, is there anything you want to talk about when it comes to Milwaukee Film, Oriental Theater, the upcoming Milwaukee Film Festival? Can you tell us anything?
Yeah, I can a little bit. There's
a little bit.
Well,
if it's something that you're not supposed to say, I can have Austin cut it out.
Okay. I believe I can say some things. Well, the 2025 Milwaukee Film Festival is going to be April 24th through May 8th, 2025.
Coming up.
It's coming up fast, like, you know, we're getting things ready. As of the release of this podcast, the official artwork will be announced, and so I can describe it. It's beautiful. It's watercolor birds and springtime, and it's birds like sitting on bushes that are shaped like theater seats, and they have popcorn, and it's super cute. We're announcing it this Thursday, so you'll see it soon. Like this Thursday. And so that is by our very talented artist Ginger Markley. Shout out. She's great. And you know, some of people's favorite things are coming back, like Anvil Orchestra, who always does a live score along with a silent classic film. I can't say what film it's going to be yet, but I can say that Anvil Orchestra will be returning, which is exciting. And then, like, you know, classic stuff like our Rated K for Kids series, so that you can bring kids to the cinema during the festival, and our documentary program, and all sorts of stuff. Cinema Hooligante, which is one of my favorite programs.
One of my favorite. It's been my favorite probably since actually back when they were known as Shotgun Cinema.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. That makes sense. I feel like I saw you at a few of the Cinema Hooligante screenings this year. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. Well, no, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. But yeah, so we've got a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I'm in like the spreadsheet of our programming team as they're watching all the films and like marking them like if they want to invite them or like if they're confirmed or not. And it's basically incomprehensible to me. They're watching so many movies every day. And it's going to be great.
It's a dream.
It does. Sometimes I'm like, I want to do that. But then they're like, I'm exhausted. Like I was watching movies from like the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. And it sometimes it seems like they all blend together a little bit. But they're good at differentiating them. Our programming team rocks. They are coming up with some cool stuff. I mean, I can't say what, but I've seen a couple of the confirmed films for this year, and there was one in particular, maybe I can come back later and tell you all or whatever, but one in particular that I gasped and messaged them about and was like, is this true? So that's my tease.
I'm ready. I'll even if I don't get invited back to be press, I'll be at this festival.
You will. I'm the one who decides that. You will. You're good. You're in. I'll announce that here. Yeah.
All right. You heard it first. Shameless Picture Show will be at the 2025 Milwaukee Film Festival.
Yes, accredited press.
Woo!
But yeah, that's it. I mean, just come to the Oriental and the Downer. We're always showing cool stuff. I think we're doing like National Theater Live, the like tapings of live theater productions at this like I think on the West End in London. So the National Theater Live like tapes like does pro shots of them and then puts them out theatrically. So we're showing like a production of Hamlet and a production of Fleabag, like the show Fleabag, because it began as like a one-woman show, so they taped that from when that originally happened. So that's something coming up that I'm intrigued by.
So is that part of the film festival or just coming up at the...
Coming up. I think that's in March. Or it's coming up, or maybe I think it's going to last a few months. So it starts, I think it goes February through about June. Same with our, we have this new series called like Let's Dig In, and it's an environmental documentary series. And that's super exciting because each of those films, that goes through June as well. Each of those documentaries has like an expert panel discussion afterwards. And this part I'm extra excited about, a farmer's market in the lobby of the Oriental Theater.
Ooh.
I know. I was really excited when they said that was happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm excited for that. And people can find this information where?
mkefilm.org. That's it.
All right. Well, so everyone, if you're in the Wisconsin area, you should definitely be familiar with Milwaukee Film at this point. But if not, this is your opportunity. This is your calling. Make sure you go check out Milwaukee Film. Go check out the Oriental Theater, the Downer Theater, and even though they're not part of Milwaukee Film, go check out the Union Cinema.
You should,
because they're
fine.
They're scrappy and they're fantastic.
I love them.
I do too. But
yeah,
we're here to talk about a movie that I'm crossing off of my shame list.
Yay.
And this is a tradition whenever we have a new guest. I let them take the lead in choosing the film we'll discuss. We considered a few options. We are very close to almost choosing The Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, which is on my shame list.
Yes. Well, I'll probably have to have you back on to talk about that at some point. But after some deliberation, we decided on Christopher Guest's Waiting for Guffman. Waiting for Guffman follows the eccentric residents of Blaine, Missouri, as they prepare for their town's 150th anniversary. The townspeople take pride in their quirky history, one filled with footstools, alien encounters, and a misadventure that led them to settle in Missouri instead of California. Enter Corky St. Clair, a flamboyant transplant from New York City who has been tasked with directing a community theater production to commemorate Blaine's past and future. With a ragtag cast that includes a dentist, a married couple, and a Dairy Queen employee, St. Clair believes their humble show has the potential to be something truly special. Confident in his off-Broadway connections, he invites a mysterious Broadway producer named Guffman to attend. Waiting for Guffman was Christopher Guest's follow-up to his directorial debut, The Big Picture, but he had already made a name for himself as one of the writers behind Rob Reiner's This Is Spinal Tap, and through his work with the National Lampoon. While the film script is credited to both Guest and frequent collaborator Eugene Levy, much of the dialogue was improvised, reinforcing the mockumentary style. Although Guest's first film didn't get the recognition it deserved, Waiting for Guffman was well received by critics. It earned praise from Siskel and Ebert, who gave it 2 thumbs up, and it secured a spot in Variety's list of 100 best movies of all time. The film also holds a 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes among both critics and fans, and was nominated for 3 Independent Spirit Awards. The film stars Christopher Guest, Eugene Levy, Fred Willard, Catherine O'Hara, Louis Arquette, Bob Balaban, and Parker Posey as Libby Mae Brown. Features cinematography by Roberto Schaefer and music by Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, the 3 members of Spinal Tap. Written by Guest and Eugene Levy, directed by Christopher Guest from 1996. This is Waiting for Guffman.
The City Council of Blaine gave me the responsibility of putting together a show to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Blaine. I took the whole history of the town and I squeezed it like a piece of fresh bread.
I think the one really important thing that I learned in working with Corky is that I do indeed have talent.
My booby made a kishka. She made it big and fat. My Zeta took one look at it and said, I can't eat that.
I have found here in Blaine a gold mine of talent. I think Johnny would be so perfect, don't you?
He could be the next Keanu Reeves.
We've got Ron and Sheila on board again.
Midnight at the Oasis.
Newcomer Alan Pearl.
I have a very lazy eye, which these prescription glasses help?
Libby.
I've been working here at the DQ for about,
And of course, Lloyd and I, it's like rams butting heads.
Certainly, Corky has brought something to our little theatrical community. He's definitely different.
You know, he can just do everything there is to do, and there's only one other person in the world that can do that, and that's Barbara Streisand.
I have a little announcement to make. Mort Guffman is going to come from New York City and see our show. We have one shot at this. We've got one performance. With Mort Guffman coming to town, we need to hitch up our panties and run. Hooray for Mort Guffman!
So you had never seen it?
No. So I was only familiar with this film in a very tertiary sense. One, because I was familiar with Christopher Guest. I actually hadn't seen any of his movies leading up to this.
Wait, not even Best in Show?
No. So Best in Show and The Mighty Wind used to come on Comedy Central all the time growing up. Yeah. So I saw bits and pieces of it. But when I was young, I didn't quite get the idea of a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is this real? Is this not? Like, is this supposed to be, because it was super dry as well? It's like, is this supposed to be funny? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But I was familiar with Waiting for Guffman because of Dawson's Creek.
Oh, I don't know.
Have you ever watched Dawson's Creek?
No, but I'm very familiar with James Vanderbeek because of the show Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23.
I love Vanderbeek.
He is great. He plays himself on that show. So he talks about Dawson's Creek all the time, but I've never actually seen an episode of Dawson's Creek.
Me and my wife Amanda, we marathoned Dawson's Creek last year. We watched all 5 seasons. It is great and terrible at the same time. But the reason I mention it is because that's the reason I was familiar with the title Waiting for Guffman, because in the first season, which is probably the best season, actually.
Okay, noted.
First 2 or 3 are really good, and then you have to really be a fan to continue on from there.
Okay.
But Dawson is a film obsessed kid. Mm. They have their own historic movie palace in Capeside, and the character played by Joshua Jackson, Pacey, he has a crush on his English teacher.
Okay.
He invites her out to go see this new independent film playing in town, Waiting for Guffman.
Did they go?
He went. She happened to be there on a date with someone else, but the poster for Waiting for Guffman was everywhere, and they I think showed a couple clips from it. So I know Waiting for Guffman because of Dawson's Creek.
I think that's awesome. I need to watch that episode now.
Yes, you do. I think it's within the first couple episodes. So
okay, I'll seek it out. I think that's great. I wish I could see it in theaters. It was almost my staff pick at the Oriental Theater. But there isn't a DCP of it, so we opted for something that had a DCP.
Oh, and are you not able to play something that's not a DCP?
It would have had to be a film print, and the film prints are more expensive, which so maybe someday, maybe we can book it someday. I would love that. Programming team, if you're listening, please.
Programming team, if you're listening, I know I'm not anyone. I have some ideas for a Burt Reynolds retrospective.
That's fun. I think people would show out for that. I keep pitching to them, and this relates to Waiting for Guffman. I think we need to do, because we did Keanu-thon, where we showed a bunch of Keanu Reeves films. I want to do Bob Balaban Fest so bad, because I adore Bob Balaban.
If you do that, you need to show the film he directed, Parents.
I've never seen that.
Oh, he's directed quite a few movies.
Yeah.
But he did a black comedy horror film in 1989. It stars Randy Quaid.
Oh, sold.
And he's a very young Randy Quaid, and it feels like a John Waters movie because it's about these 2 parents who are cannibals and their son doesn't know.
I just looked, and it's on Tubi, and I will be watching this tonight after we're done recording.
Parents. Bob Balaban directs the shit out of that movie.
I'm in. I love Bob Balaban. This is like the 4th time today I've been talking about Bob Balaban, so I like really need to calm down. But he's in the new season of Severance, which I'm watching, and
I need to watch that still.
The new season, or in general, Severance?
No, the new season. I haven't gotten to it yet. I've been wanting. Amanda's been hooked on the Fourth Wing books, so she's been reading a lot.
Okay.
So I've been trying to respect her process, but we're going to get to Severance soon. But tell me a little bit about your history. Like, when did you first see Waiting for Guffman? Was this your first guest film? Walk me through.
No. Okay. So I don't have like a super long history with Waiting for Guffman. I guess it's been like 5 years, but because I came across it during quarantine, during the pandemic in 2020. I like found it on some sort of like, I think I saw a tweet about it, and I like with a clip, and I watched a clip and I was like, what is this? And then I had seen Best in Show, and I'd heard about This Is Spinal Tap, but I'd not seen it. And so I don't know, just based on this clip I saw, I was like, well, I have to watch this. And I watched Waiting for Guffman. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I just became totally obsessed with it. I've like since gotten basically everyone I know to watch it, and I just love it. So then I fell down the rabbit hole, and I watched I watched This Is Spinal Tap. I watched A Mighty Wind for your consideration, and I just filled in all of my Christopher Guest gaps. And I just loved it. And then 2 of my best friends who I actually met at the Union Cinema, Zach and Riley, they both watched it too. And now the 3 of us just talk about it constantly. And like one of us is watching it like a lot of the time. Like somehow in our little group chat, one of us is like often like, I think I'm going to throw on Waiting for Guffman tonight. It's that, or, you know, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar is our other go-to. But to the point where we're planning on having a Waiting for Guffman PowerPoint night where we each make a PowerPoint about it and present them to each other. And my friend Riley was Corky St. Clair for Halloween last year or 2 years ago, in his iconic outfit from the poster, where he has that like yellow vest and his pants are on backwards. So my history doesn't go back too far. It wasn't like a childhood favorite, but it's quickly made its way into my favorites of all time. And I do find it like to be a comfort movie, and I have the Blu-ray. So I'm throwing Waiting for Guffman on a lot.
So like I said, even though I was familiar with the films of Christopher Guest without having seen them, Waiting for Guffman was the one that I knew the least amount about, and for a couple reasons. One, the title doesn't really elicit a specific image in your mind. You know, For Your Consideration, A Mighty Wind, you kind of get an idea. That combined with the poster. Waiting for Guffman, its title is strange.
Yeah.
Like it makes complete sense within the context of the film.
But you don't even find out who Guffman is until like quite a ways into the film.
I would say more than halfway through.
Yeah.
So then you're also sitting there because like at first, like you see on the cover Christopher Guest as Corky St. Clair. So at first you're like, well, that must be Guffman. And then you start watching the movie and it's like, no, that's Cork. Like what? And then the poster's also strange. Like, trying to figure out like, what is this poster? To this day, I'm staring at this poster. I was like, what does this poster have to do with this movie?
It's bizarre. I love it.
Absolutely nothing.
It's just quirky.
It is. But I was so charmed by this movie, just pretty much from the beginning. One, I'm a big fan of just kind of offbeat mockumentaries. This movie reminded me a lot of one of my favorite movies from last year, Theater Camp.
I was going to bring up Theater Camp because that feels like such a spiritual successor to Waiting for Guffman, like directly.
Yes. But then like I was sold from the beginning, just as they're going through all the townspeople talking about Blaine. And their earnestness, it actually kind of reminded me quite a bit of Bernie, the Richard Linklater film, and when they're kind of talking about the history of this town. And I was like, okay, I love it. And I love the commitment to the bit. where the everyone's tongue is so far in their cheek that they could practically be bleeding. Like, they're never making fun of the situation. They're just allowing themselves to be funny in it. And then all of that combined with a surprise appearance and co-starring role by Parker Posey, and it was everything that I needed to know about this movie. Yeah. I was so in from it the very, very early on. Like, when they're telling the story about how they settled in Missouri because their founder smelt salt in the air, and he's like, "Oh, we must be in California."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Okay, I know exactly what I'm getting into with this movie."
It's fantastic. It's I'm so happy to hear that you liked it, because I saw that you watched it, but you withheld your rating on Letterboxd.
I know you watched my Letterboxd.
Yeah,
so I was like, I need to keep her.
I was excited to find out your final reveal of your thoughts on the movie, so I'm happy to hear this. Yeah, Parker Posey gives a perfect performance as Libby, the Dairy Queen employee.
It's so nuanced. Like,
I know.
There's a line that killed me in it. I wish I would have written it down. When I think she says something along the lines with the Dairy Queen is always there for me, and I felt that. As I have family from small towns, not in Missouri, but I have a family all spread out amongst a small area in the Appalachians. And while I don't know if I've ever had anyone work at the Dairy Queen, I could feel that sense of not necessarily contempt, but knowing that is a place you could always turn to.
Yeah.
You know, her acting dream, and I wouldn't even say necessarily acting dream. She just likes working with Corky. She likes her little family that they have created.
Yeah. I love movies about like chosen family and like just community. And I think this film is such a perfect like slice of the Midwest. It's about Midwest excellence, and you know, we as Midwesterners, I just feel like it's such an accurate depiction. Obviously, it's like going a little hard on it. Like I think it's a little exaggerated, but not always.
Not that much.
I think it's just fantastic the way, and in the same way. Have you seen Drop Dead Gorgeous?
Yes, I have seen Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Those two films I feel like are cousins.
I always assumed that Christopher Guest was involved with Drop Dead Gorgeous because it feels so much like one of his films.
I don't think he was, but my perfect double feature would be Waiting for Guffman, immediately followed by Drop Dead Gorgeous, because they're just two like movies about Midwestern folks with big dreams, but not too big, but like dreaming bigger than their town is allowing them to, and finding community in like being creative or performing or something like that.
And one thing I appreciated about the film as well is, while the movie truly has no qualms in poking fun at Blaine and the people of Blaine, it's never negative. You know, it's never like one of those small town movies where like, I need to get out of here. I hate it here. Like, Libby's the closest, and even she's not a hater.
Right. Her ending is probably like the saddest of them all, maybe because she thought about going to New York, and then she ends up staying and being with her dad who got out of prison on parole.
And she's in like Alabama, so her sad story is because she left.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Truly, like watching it, they make it seem like I want to be there. I want to be in Blaine, and I want to be watching this production of Red, White, and Blaine, and I want to be in it. I want to be in the production. And all of them are having the time of their lives. I mean, like Michael Hitchcock, the actor, is in it, who's in a bunch of he's in like everything funny ever, but he's in all of the Christopher Guest movies, and he's also in Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, which is another connection between those two. Have you seen that movie?
I have seen that one.
Okay, just making sure.
But no, Michael Hitchcock in this movie playing Steve Stark, there's a moment where they're at intermission for Red, White, and Blaine. And he's like, I just want to be in the show. And like, his absolute love for Corky St. Clair and for love of theater is just so earnest and genuine. And like I said, there's only really one character that really feels like her aspiration is to leave, and that's Catherine O'Hara's character.
But I mean, kind of too, but also I'm trying to remember their names. Catherine O'Hara and Fred Willard's character.
They are Sheila and Ron.
Thank you. Of course. Sheila and Ron, they're married and they run a travel agency, but they've never been outside of Blaine.
I love it. It's such a funny detail without trying too hard.
Yeah, I believe them, of course. Or, well, it was like one of the one time Ron went to Jefferson County or something, Jefferson City, and they love Blaine. There's no reason to leave, but they like want to try their hand at like Hollywood sometime, but they seem perfectly content just, working with Corky. They said that this is not their first time working on one of Corky's productions. So
Fred Willard's just comedic timing. Well, everyone's comedic timing in this movie is incredible, but I feel like without knowing these exact people, I've met these people. And there's that moment where after Sheila and Ron do their audition, and Ron's like, "Do you want me to strike it?" And he goes, "I worked with Corky before. I know the terms."
Yeah, I was crying. He's so funny. Everything, it's like every line in this movie is so perfectly attuned to these characters, and it paints such a vivid picture of exactly who they all are. And I love them all. I want to be friends with them, and frankly, it makes me want to like go do some community theater or something. I want to be where all of these folks are. I also just love a musical, so I like that this is kind of a musical.
It is. And the music, so one of my favorite moments, because like you're watching them put this play on, you're getting ready for it, and you can see that you pretty much know that this play is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But they're trying their hardest, and it actually comes together so much better than you expect it to.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite comedy beats, and I don't know, because this is my first time watching it, I don't know how people react to things. I don't know if it's probably a comedy beat that gets as much love as it should, but I love that throughout all of this, you're seeing Corky's weird methods to get performances and all this, this scrappy energy. But then when they get to the overture for the play, and like Bob Balaban practically has like a professional orchestra going.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
And he's slaying. Bob Balaban could conduct any orchestra.
The look of determination on his face when he's conducting his little orchestra, and like I said, it's like a full-on overture, and I'm like, oh damn.
I need it on vinyl so bad. They've never put the Waiting for Guffman soundtrack out anywhere. Like it's not on Spotify or anything, but A Mighty Wind has like an official Spotify or an album. A Mighty Wind has an album, and it's like available to listen. And I found it at a record store once, and I'm so desperate for somebody to put the Waiting for Guffman soundtrack out on vinyl.
Just so you can have Penny for your thoughts on a little 45.
Well, my favorite's Stool Boom, but we can get into that later.
So when you first saw, I know this is a newer love affair with this movie, but it seems like it's a strong love. Yeah. And you might have said this already, and maybe I forgot already. How did you first hear about this film?
I saw like a clip on Twitter or something. Okay. So it just, I feel like that's how I find a lot of stuff. I just randomly will see someone talking about something or like post an image from a film somewhere, and then I will like scroll through the comments desperately waiting for someone to say the title of it. That's my pet peeve. I hate when people post an image from something and they don't say what it's from. and then I have to go digging for it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so that's how I found it, and I'm really happy I did.
It's interesting the way that film culture has changed with the internet, because you do have moments like that. Like I said, I first heard of it because of fucking Dawson's Creek, but you first heard of it because of Twitter. And like, I love that. I love that it's, just images from a film can be communicated in this way. Or like, so every month I try to do like a selection of film picks where I just choose images from like one single image from like 9 different movies and just make a collage out of them. And I also try to find something that's slightly more obscure. Like the image I want to do is I want an image of Parker Posey barbecuing
that chicken
for one chicken leg.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny to me. And this is my favorite type of comedy where it's never that big. Like they never, like, they're doing a big performance, but they don't feel the need to crank everything up all the time. So much of the humor comes from the subtlety. Yeah. And like I said, you cast someone like Bob Balaban, that's his fucking bread and butter. Same thing with Fred Willard and Eugene Levy. And like I said, and like I have this absolute just insane love for Parker Posey. And just the energy, she just brings chaos energy to everything she's in.
Have you seen Party Girl?
No, I have not.
Wow, that was also almost my staff pick. There were so many options; it was hard to choose. You need to see Party Girl.
So since I love Parker Posey so much, I know there's still a lot of films of hers that I've not seen, and I've been intentionally not like marathoning through them because I like having things to like discover or look forward to. Like John Carpenter's my favorite filmmaker, but I've not seen all of his films yet because I just want something on the horizon that I have to look forward to. And I know that I'm going to absolutely love Party Girl.
I think you're gonna have a blast with Party Girl. I have the Blu-ray if you want to borrow it.
I won't say no. I've got plenty to choose from in case you want to borrow anything as well.
We could do a swap.
Hell yeah. So like I said, it's also hard to talk about a movie like Waiting for Guffman because it doesn't necessarily elicit deep analytical film discussion. It's a movie that brings joy. It really just feels like a cozy watch. Like I could see myself watching this the same way that I watch Wet Hot American Summer, where that's when I'm having a rough day. Wet Hot American Summer is the movie that I want to watch.
And I think those are so comparable too, because there's clearly so much improv in both of them. Mm-hmm. And that you could like to the point where I feel like when there's so much improv, it's like because the actors are actually so comfortable with each other and they have real friendships and relationships, and that's what makes it so special, because I also love Wet Hot American Summer. So totally, I see similarities between the two for sure.
And I feel like I did a little bit of reading about this movie after watching it, that since the entire film was pretty much improv, like I think they had rough ideas of like what they wanted to accomplish in each scene. I read that he shot like 60 hours worth of footage.
Yeah, so I've
insane like that.
Truly, there's so many deleted scenes. There's like fully deleted musical numbers from the performance too, because there's in the production of Red, White, and Blaine, there's a musical number, Nothing Ever Happens on Mars, and there's like a reprise of that song that was cut out, Nothing Ever Happens in Blaine, which is in the deleted scenes. I've watched the film before with like the commentary track with Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy, which is so funny, but most of the commentary track is just them talking about scenes that got cut out. Like they're like, oh yeah, this scene used to be here and it actually would have explained a lot here, because there's a scene in the film where they're just randomly the cast of the play or the musical are randomly practicing at like this car dealership, and it's never explained why they're there. And when I was watching the commentary track one time, Eugene Levy's like, we cut out the scene where they like mention and explain why they're at the car dealership. That's so weird. So now there's just like no one knows why they're there, and there's just like a random like 30 seconds where they're practicing at a car dealership in the film.
I noticed that, and one thing is I didn't question it.
I've never questioned it. I didn't question it at all.
Like if I don't know, I have a love and appreciation for movies that just do things for inexplicable reasons.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that car dealership, I was like, they probably were driving around and thought that's a good location.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times I'm just driving around, but like, I'd want to shoot a scene there just because something looks interesting.
For sure.
And from what it sounds like so they shot this movie in Texas.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they kind of had complete run of this town. And the fact that this movie came out so, it's structured so well, considering they didn't like, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this where it doesn't sound like an insult. They didn't really know what they were doing.
No,
they had a point. Like they knew the story they were trying to tell, but they didn't have a beginning, middle, and end structured script. But the fact that it came out as good as it did, and you're never questioning these things. The only other filmmaker that I can think of who kind of has that ability to improv his way through a movie is someone like Joe Swanberg.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, while you were describing that too, I was kind of like, okay, Terrence Malick. Like,
yeah,
kind of. I think
in a way, like it's kind of a combination of the two. The reason I thought of Joe Swanberg was specifically he made this movie that I love from 2013 called Drinking Buddies.
I've never seen that, but it's been on my watch list.
It's got a great cast: Olivia Wilde, Jake Johnson, Anna Kendrick, Ron Levinson. And it's about people working at a brewery in Chicago. It's also got the filmmaker Ty West in it as a cameo, which I love. Pre-Maxine Ty West, which is kind of great. But the entire movie's improv. He apparently every day that he just wrote pieces of paper down of like, okay, here's what we're accomplishing in this scene. Just feel it out.
That's so interesting. I really like Jake
how'd you get funding for this?
Right, like how do you sell that?
Script.
Yeah, and I'm not going to plan any of it, and we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, wait, you said Waiting for Guffman is Christopher Guest's second film?
Yes, the second directed film.
Sure. Oh yes. But he'd written This Is Spinal
he had written Spinal Tap,
and he starred. Have you seen This Is Spinal Tap?
Yes.
Okay. Because he's so good in that too.
Yes.
Do you know who Christopher Guest is married to?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
And I love Jamie Lee Curtis. She gave him a shout out during her Oscar acceptance speech.
Oh, I love that.
She said she said something along the lines with, I also want to thank my husband, Christopher Guest, who is a genius.
True. They're both geniuses.
And they gave like they did a cutaway to Christopher Guest, and he looked kind of modest and shy about it. But it's like, you just got called out at the Oscars, man.
Yeah. No, I like have trouble seeing Christopher Guest as a real person because I've only like I think when I think of Christopher Guest, I think of Corky St. Clair.
Well, and it's weird. So I watched a movie not too long ago. I'm trying to remember what the title is. It was a Western. Why can I not think of it? Hold on. This is gonna bug me. I'm gonna Google it.
That he was in? That Christopher
Yes,
Guest was in?
that Christopher Guest was in. It was called The Long Riders.
No, I've never heard of this.
So The Long Riders is a movie from 1980. Christopher Guest is nearly unrecognizable in this movie because he looks like himself.
I don't know if I want to see him looking like that.
And it was he plays like a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's even more shocking. Directed by Walter Hill, who best known for writing Alien. He made The Warrior, so on and so forth.
Okay.
But then like I'm so used to seeing Christopher Guest, like you said, like in makeup or on like that I don't I always forget he's in The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I forgot that until you just said that completely. Have you seen the movie Girlfriends from 19?
Yes.
70 something. He
Yes.
and Bob Balaban are both in it. And
Yeah,
they're
Bob
so
Balaban's
young.
got hair in that movie.
I know, it's shocking. When I first saw it, because I saw
Claudia Wheel. I want to give
yes,
credit.
yes, that movie is so great, and I watched it just because my dad recommended it to me. Well, because he told me, he was like, it's about a Jewish girl in her 20s who's struggling financially. I think that you'll maybe have a lot to relate to it. And I was like, okay.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you so much. And but he was right. And I watched it, and I mean, the double whammy of Christopher Guest and Bob Balaban being in that together, that also probably might have been like even where they met or something, because Bob Balaban's in all of the Christopher Guest movies, and they're so young in it.
It's funny, like, so I love Christopher Guest because he will make these passion project and I love that he just has a commitment to mockumentary.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of been his shit. But then, like, I was last year, I was rewatching Joe Dante's Small Soldiers,
and
all. You know what it's about, right? It's it's a movie directed by Joe Dante, who did Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
It is a movie about these toys that come to life because David Cross puts a microchip in them that makes them into like killer toys. All three members of Spinal Tap do voices in this movie.
Yay! That's
Christopher
so
Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer all do characters.
Wow.
And so I love that he just has a commitment to his friends. I love that. But then I love that he'll just keep doing stuff like this. Like I'm
looking at Small Soldiers right now. I'm adding it to my watch list because that sounds bizarre. And I love David Cross, and I love his one scene in Waiting for Guffman.
That was going to be my transition. His with
the crop circle. Yeah.
Crop circle scene where it's always a different temperature.
Yeah, he said it's always 67 degrees and there's always a 40% chance of rain inside the crop circle.
I nearly lost it at that time. Like, Amanda's sitting there reading her book and she's got earphones in because she's listening to like her lo-fi playlist. Yeah. And I'm sitting there just cackling to myself. And I just kept hoping that he was going to show up again, but he never did.
He never does.
The fact that he does it makes it even funnier.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect performance, and 10
out of 10,
absolutely bizarre. Yeah, I love the Blaine history of alien sightings, I guess.
Yes, I love alien stories. I used to be obsessed with Roswell as a kid.
Yes.
Roswell and Bigfoot were my obsessions as a kid.
Yes.
It's always been my dream to make a movie about the making of the fake Bigfoot footage.
Okay, I think you should. I would watch that.
But I love that commitment to the, like, I think they even interview like one of the guys who was supposed, like, in the movie there, who was abducted, and I just love everything about this movie. I'm just gonna keep saying that. Like, so this is not gonna be a very analytical. It's like when we did Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. It's just gonna be a love fest for the entire movie. But
another great mockumentary.
Yes, this is a movie that people need to see. And so I know you said at the beginning that you have not pursued as much film work. Have you ever thought about doing a mockumentary? Doing a mockumentary about working at a theater? I'm sure you got some stories.
There was a while when a while ago I taught at this art school in St. Paul, and I thought that would make a good mockumentary for a while. It was the Art Academy of St. Paul, shout out. And they we had so many strange shenanigans there, so I considered that for a moment, but not really. It's not, as much as it's probably one of my favorite genres to watch, it's not one I've ever considered making. I like science fiction, which I guess you could argue that there's science fiction in Waiting for Guffman.
Definitely is. And the poster makes it feel way more science fiction.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm going to keep going back to that poster. That poster feels like he should be like an alien.
I'll send it
living
to you,
in human clothing.
When one of my best friends, Riley, was Corky St. Clair for Halloween, she remade the poster, but like her in the costume, like perfectly. And it was so impressive. And I think of that image often because it's kind of a hard poster to duplicate too, because he's in such a weird pose with like his palms facing outwards, and he does seem like an alien.
If I ever get a chance to meet Christopher Guest, I don't know why I ever will. I'm going to ask him so many questions about that poster.
I think you should. I'm desperate to know more. Because it's a weird one. But it's perfect. It perfectly fits the rest of the film.
So as we start to wrap up a little bit here, I wanted to ask. So like I said, this was my first Christopher Guest directed film.
Okay.
Where if you were to program a Christopher Guest film night where you could like program a couple of them, we already have Waiting for Guffman on there. What else would you program? Like, what else would you want someone who's new to Christopher Guest to see next?
That's hard because I think the next best one is Best in Show, but then I would feel bad leaving because, like, as much as I love all of them, and I really do think that For Your Consideration and A Mighty Wind are worth watching, they don't come close to Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman. And I don't know if this is Spinal Tap counts, but he wrote it and he stars in it, so I'll count it.
It's even though it's a Rob Reiner, John, it's like saying like When Harry Met Sally was directed by Rob Reiner, but that's a Nora Ephron fucking movie.
Yeah, totally. Rob Reiner is good at that. He directs movies that are kind of other people's movies.
So I did want to ask you about one film in his filmography to see if you've seen. Have you seen Mascots? Because I've heard he reprises his role as Corky St. Clair.
No, I always forget about that movie. That's like the most recent one too, right?
Yes, it's on Netflix from 2016.
Okay, intriguing. No, I have not. And I don't think I knew that he reprises his role as Corky St. Clair. I'm adding this to my watch list.
It's within the Guffman cinematic universe.
Oh my god. Well, okay, I must.
I just looked it up. I don't know if that exists, the Guffman cinematic universe, but it exists.
This is already on my watch list. My watch list is just a little too long, so it's hard to keep track. But
I feel that, and what I do is I love now that they added the feature on your phone. I assume on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
I love that you can now shuffle your watch list.
Oh,
did you not know that?
No.
If you this is not interesting. Listen for any people who listen to this are fucking movie nerds. Get over it.
Yeah, they all want to know.
If you go to your watch list and hit the little settings option up in the top, you can do sort by and scroll. And the third option is shuffle.
Is that just on your watch list or is that on any list?
I don't know.
Because this is embarrassing, but I before I knew there was a watch list feature, I started my own private watch list, which is just a list called Things I Want to Watch.
There's a shuffle option on any list.
Okay, good. So yeah, I have, instead of a watch list, a Things I Want to Watch list, which is so much more convoluted than just using the watch list because I have to manually remove them from my watch list when I've seen them. I'm doing it the wrong way.
It's okay.
Thank you.
But no, what I do, in case anyone cares about my movie watching habits, is I once or twice a week I'll shuffle my watch list. One, I'll sort by see what's streaming first because I like that if you pay for it, you can sort by streaming services.
Oh.
But I'll also then just like whatever comes up first, I'll see if my local library has it, and I'll support the local library.
I was there yesterday. I love my local library. Cool. I did not know that, and I will be utilizing my shuffle feature. Thank you for teaching me.
It's nice. It makes things very easy. So on this show, we have a struggling to think of words. We have
a segment.
A segment.
Yeah.
I was like, tradition doesn't feel right. We have a segment on this show called The Thrill House Moment. For those of you listening who are new to the show, Thrill House Moment is a reference to The Simpsons, where Milhouse is playing Bone Storm for the first time, and his hair gets knocked back, and he says, I've only typed in my name, and he just writes Thrill House. So it's that moment in the movie that knocks your hair back and just kind of, it's your clenching moment. The moment's like, I like this movie. There's so many great moments in this movie, but did you have a Thrill House moment?
For sure. And I was thinking about this while I was watching it, because I was like, how am I going to choose one Thrill House moment? But of course it's Stool Boom. It's the musical number. It's the second musical number in Red, White, and Blaine, Stool Boom, which tells the story of why Blaine, Missouri is the stool capital of the world, which is they like make stools. That's really it. They just make stools, like stools that you sit on. It gets stuck in my head all the time. I am constantly singing Stool Boom. My fiance, I drive him absolutely insane. Like sometimes we'll be like about to fall asleep and just suddenly I have to sing Stool Boom. I can't help it. It's just so catchy.
I fucking love that. Stool Boom. So my Thrill House moments is obviously, I would have to say it's a David Cross sequence at the beginning of the film, where he is talking about crop circles. That was my moment that I was like, this movie is comedic genius and I'm in love with it. It's fantastic.
Yay. That's a great Thrill House moment. You could have picked any one of them though.
You honestly very well could have. You could have picked any of them and you would have been absolutely correct.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm so happy you watched it.
Thank you. No, I'm super stoked that I watched this movie. I'm super stoked that I loved this movie as much as I did. And I'm also realizing right now that I'm super stoked that I chose to record this a second time because my recording fucked up again.
Oh no. Well, okay. I'm glad that you did that too then.
Yeah, I am too, because your entire audio recording disappeared.
Oh no. But you have it on this version?
Yes, I do. Yes. So what I might have to do is I might have to record because I started it after we started talking a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think that's a perfect place to end then.
Okay. Yes. Seems right. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And where can the people out there listening find you?
Oh, I am just out and about. I mean, come to the come to the Oriental Theater, the Downer Theater, Milwaukee Film. I'm on Instagram. People can follow me. It's just my last name and my first name, so Ehrlich Robyn. If I can plug, I do edit my fiance William and his friend Corey. He's my friend too. Our friend Corey's podcast. It's called Another Look with Will and Corey. So sometimes you hear me on that. I made them watch The House Bunny, so I have an episode there. Yeah, just I'm easy to find.
Perfect. Well, at this point, everyone listening should know where to find me. I'm Michael_Viers on Instagram, Shameless Picture Show on TikTok for the time being, where I do physical media reviews. And you can find the podcast pretty much everywhere you listen to the podcast and on the Cinepunks Network. And you can find us next time, Shame Time, Shame Place, Shameless Picture Show.
The Shameless Picture Show is a proud member of the Cinepunks Podcast Network. The show is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is hosted and produced by Michael Viers. The show is created by Michael Viers and Nick Richards. The Shameless Picture Show is edited by Austin Proctor of the Frightmares podcast. Amanda Viers is the show's graphic designer and a big help behind the scenes. Our theme music was composed by Austin Proctor with narration by Nick Richards. The end credit music you're currently enjoying was generously provided to us by the band 10 Speed. And an extra special thank you to all our Patreon supporters and to our generous sponsors. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, and directly at Cinepunks.com.